Good morning and welcome to the Hutchinson County Podcast. We are down here at the Borger News Herald. I want to apologize ahead of time. I've been kind of battling a cold flu type thing all week, so if I sound kind of stopped up and everything, my apologies for that. But honestly, this podcast ain't about me, but it's about our guest today. I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
I'm Sarah Harris.
See, Sarah Harris, yes, a lot of people know Sarah. I actually talked to my mom. She church over in Stinnett, and she remembers you coming to sing at their church. It's pretty pretty good voice, and I actually went and listened to it on YouTube, and I was just blown away. Just amazing voice, and kind of that's what you do. But we're going to start with your life story. Let's go back to just back as far as you can remember and growing up and the challenges you faced.
Well, I was raised in Northern Virginia, about 25 miles south of Washington D.C., and uh, I was adopted by my grandparents. They raised me, and I went to public school. Um, Now they call it mainstreamed, and I had a now they call them teachers for blind students, but back then they called them vision teachers. So I had one of those, and she's the one who taught me Braille. So I am a huge advocate for Braille. Use it every day, all day long, for everything. And in school, I also had they call them travel instructors now. That's how I learned to use a white cane. And then years later, I was an adult by then, but I had extensive training at the Louisiana Center for the Blind um, for 9 months. And that was a life changer. It was very hard at times, but it was worth it. Um, I
Well, I'll
uh,
go ahead and back up real quick, give you kind of a chance to figure it out. Yeah, it's a lot of information to
yeah.
get out and everything, but we'll kind of clarify from folks. You have been blind since birth, so if that kind of people kind of helps them fill in the blanks. Also, for people that may not know, kind of give us the definition. You hear the word braille. I know what it means, but tell people what braille is.
Okay. Let me go back since people will ask this too or wonder this too. I was blindness is from retinopathy of prematurity. So back then they didn't cover babies' eyes like they do now. And so I was exposed to all that oxygen and things like that in an incubator. And so that's how I became blind. Braille was invented by Louis Braille in, gosh, the 1800s is when he was born. He was 15 years old when he invented it. And it's literacy for the blind. It's kind of like a code. Um, First, you learn it where everything is all spelled out, kind of like you, right? And then you learn kind of more of a kind of like shorthand, and the code has evolved over the years. And I love when new codes come out. It's kind of like new technology. I'm all for that, and it looks to me it looks really good. It's called Unified English Braille now, so that's what I use. Um, I also use assistive technology. That's how I use an iPhone. That's how I use a computer. The computer and iPhones have screen access software that talks, and so I use that. And then I have braille displays, so I don't always have to use speech because you don't learn sentence structure, which is speech or anything like that, and so the braille is just where it's at. Um, so
I mean, if people, for the average person, if you go somewhere, you see a restroom sign that says men or women, there's a little section a lot of times on the sign that has little raised indentions. That's the best way I can describe it. That is Braille. That's if people ever wondered that, or just different things you've seen. Just to, for the average person, if you've kind of wondered why are there raised dots on this sign and everything, and this is what Sarah's actually referring to. Basically, just you can't read signs, so that's kind of you feel and able to know what that sign means. I'm kind of explaining to the listeners and stuff what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about and everything. It's just amazing from what I've learned the last week about you, what you have been able to accomplish and live your life being blind, and it's just an inspiration and amazing. And it's one of them, probably from a young age, you decided, I'm not going to let this slow me down. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to live a normal life, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be determined. And you've been very successful in doing that, and I commend you for all that. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Some people would just break and fold and just give up, but you have actually, should be actually an inspiration to a lot of people that think their life is bad and everything. But talk to Sarah; she will, get you on the right track. But just kind of giving a little background, is there anything else you kind of want to share? I know you have actually you've been married and actually have two children. If you want to talk about your grown boys.
Yes, they are, their names are Kendall and Dylan, and they are 26 and almost 25 now. Um, One lives in North Carolina and one lives with me.
Yeah, I
So,
mean that
I mean,
definitely good. I mean,
one thing I can say is I've had a lot of family support and other support over the years, and so um, couldn't have done it without any of them. So,
oh, I mean, yes, I mean, obviously, yes, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do and everything, and it's I really don't know how to attack this. It is cool that you've been able to do what you can do. Obviously, yes, you've had support, had help, still have a good support system. People look out for you because this world can be dangerous and evil too, and that people try to prey on somebody with a disability or an older elderly person, or that's just I just remember hearing a speech a decade ago when my brother graduated from the police academy. You have basically everybody's kind of sheep, they kind of do their own thing. Not they follow everybody, it's just a general. And there's always a wolf out there trying to attack the sheep, and then they're the basically the guard the sheep, the law enforcement, because everybody's not genuine, everybody's not good, and it's up to the law enforcement to basically be the watchdog for the public, because the world is not a great place, and some places way worse than others. So just not really sure where I was going with that, Sarah, but okay, we will. You got your personal life now. You actually wrote for the News Herald. It's been what 2020, probably 28. I think I'd looked it up and off the top. You have wrote articles for the newspaper. Tell us about that experience and what that was like.
well, I should go back further than that.
Okay, go back further than
Um,
that then.
I I was a student at Frank Phillips College, and then I went to WT and got a bachelor's degree in 2011. And then in early 2014, I got a phone call from the director of the ARC program at Frank Phillips Academic Readiness Center. And so they wanted to hire me. And I was like, what? I've never worked anywhere. Um, so that's just how God works. But so in 2014, I started working there. I tutored I first started out, I have to tell you, math is not my subject. I'm an English girl. But I tutored a blind student who was attending Frank Phillips in math, of all things. And we, gosh, we've been friends over a decade now, but um, I tutored him and then tutored other students in math, and then I tutored students at that ARC Center in um, English and writing, and that was more up my alley. But
Yes.
that was fun. And so, being there, I used to go to like, that's when I first joined Hutchinson County Republican Women. That's when I went to Lions Club meetings back then, and that's when I met the publisher at the paper. And I had already started writing books by then. It was 2015 by then. Um, so just getting to know the publisher at the paper, I talked to him one day about maybe writing some articles, and and one thing led to another, and in 16, the end of 16, I was still working at the college by then until the end of 17, but um, I started at the News Herald and became a reporter and really enjoyed it until COVID happened and, closed everything down. But um, so, and it was fun getting to know, other people's stories, and I still write every once in a while. I don't write, like, I have self published books. Um, they're Christian fiction, romance. Um, so that's out there in the world.
Yes.
um, and I haven't written in a little while, but that's okay. I'll write whatever God gives me. So,
Also, you're another talent that came across. You actually can sing pretty good, and you actually have some videos on YouTube. So tell people about kind of that, and you've sung at different community. Just talk about your singing career as a whole and your YouTube channel for singing.
well, I've been singing since I was a child, in like church choirs and things like that, and school choirs. And I've recorded albums. They're not like on the streaming services or anything like that, but and it's been a long time since I've recorded. But then, gosh, several years ago now, it was like God was like, "You need to put something on YouTube." I'm like, "Okay." And so this same friend I used to tutor, Jose Briseño, he's like, "Well, if you want to do that, I can, edit for you." And he does all the engineering aspect of it. And so, because I used to record things on my phone, and you know how that sounds, and so he spruced it up. And so I've got, I guess, 6 videos up now. And so I have that. Um, if anybody's interested in that, and eventually I'll record more stuff. But
Kind of go where life takes you, basically, or
yeah,
everything, and follow a bigger calling. I definitely understand that. Uh, so, what's the okay? You've done this singing. What do you think, like the biggest audience you have sung for before?
oh my,
There's a tough
wow.
one. Well, I mean, you wouldn't. I mean,
I'm not really
okay, if you're
sure. I mean,
going,
as a teenager, I sang at like the national anthem at. I'm a huge baseball fan. I like hockey too, but baseball's the one that I'll change teams if they don't try. But my dad and I started listening to the radio broadcasts of baseball games, and my first kind of music thing as a teenager was singing in a band, and we'd sing at like nursing homes and things like that. And my I had a manager at the time, and he had a radio station, an AM station in Prince William County, Virginia, and um, so that's where the radio broadcasts were of the Prince William Cannons back then. I don't know what they're called now, but um, so Dad and I would listen to those games, and that's how I became a fan. And so through that association with my manager, I sang at local games, and so I don't know what the audience was then,
Well, is
but it
that,
was fun.
are they an affiliate of a major league team or is it independent
They are.
baseball?
I think.
It could be yes, I mean, they be, I mean, that's actually, you could have anywhere from, I don't know, 400 or 500 people to 6 or 7 thousand with on minor league from single A up to triple A. Amarillo actually has that double A team,
Hmm.
and that's something. Honestly, they always have tryouts for people to sing the national anthem. And what's cool about that stadium when you're singing it, they have a big old video board out there that is huge, and they put that person's face up on the
Oh my
video board
goodness.
while they're singing. But it wouldn't bother you. You wouldn't if they didn't tell you about it.
Right.
Just
I
sing,
would just
just
say,
sing away, and you
yeah,
would be good to
yeah.
go and everything. We had a local kid, Willie Wiggs, out in Fritch. He's actually auditioned and sung at a game or
Oh,
two over
neat.
there, and they put him right there at home plate, and they get on the field and they get to sing the national anthem. And some of your people around you that let you know about things, maybe, hey, let me know about when they have a sod poodle deal to sing the national anthem. That would be good. That stadium holds, I think, about 7,000. They say it's a sellout, but it's one of them things. They sell a bunch of corporate seats, a couple of thousand, so the
Sure.
stadium's only about 3/4 full. And they announce our sellout crowd tonight is. So, but that's just marketing and everything. But that's something to look at. But that's very impressive. I've heard some other people sing out there. You definitely would win the audition. I can tell you that right now. If that's just you wanting to do it. But that's just something to throw out there. But we will shift. Actually, you got something else going on. You starting up a business. So start from the beginning and tell us all about your business.
Well, um, gosh, I guess it was probably 2023, 24. I
Excuse me.
I I was looking for work, and um, did a lot of applications and things like that, and I had interviews, and some were really good, but I never got the job. And so I always thought, God must have something else for me. And so I started praying, and I had friends pray too, that um, God would give me something that I could do anywhere, and that I could take classes also. Because, I've heard that as we age, we need to, keep ourselves sharp and everything. And little did I know then that that prayer would be answered exactly. You never know when you're going to, when you pray, how it's going to answer, because sometimes God has something even better. And so um, at the end of 2024, um, I saw a Facebook post, and like, who's looking to work from home? And I was like, well, I've known this person who posted this since, grade school, maybe high school, in Virginia. So I was like, well, I'll check it out and see. It's worth a shot. And so um, I had the interview over Zoom, first part of December of 24, and uh, joined the company. Um, and so if anyone else is looking for work, I'd love to have you on my team. You have to pass a background check because it is finance, but um, love to work with you on that because the team's expanding. But um, I'm with uh, Primerica Financial Services. The company has been around since 1977, so a year older than me.
A little bit, yes.
um, yeah, I just told my age. Okay.
That's why I'm older than you, so yeah,
Well,
you're young compared. No.
anyway, it was started by a guy named Art Williams who saw the side of the insurance industry that no one wants to see. And he decided to do something about it, one guy. And so, you know, don't ever think that you're just one person and you can't make a difference because he did. Um, so basically, um, life insurance is the foundation because you always need a foundation. And so we do other services too, like retirement and secure investments and things like that. Um, I mean, a lot of companies want to partner with Primerica because of what they do. Um, and so that's why we offer a lot of services like home and auto insurance. I can provide referrals for those type things. Um, but, uh, and we kind of do, kind of like when you travel, you want your GPS, or when you walk places or whatever. And so we do like a GPS for finances too. And our main goal is to get middle income families financially dependent or independent, excuse me. And
Dependent, yeah, yeah, I got you. There
yeah,
you
they're
go.
already
Yeah,
dependent,
yeah,
but
get more dependent on you know,
yeah.
independent for
And
sure.
so so that's who I'm with. And it's been a journey because signed up in 24, and I did not know accommodations would take so long for testing. And so I finally took the life insurance exam um, July 28th of 25. And when I did that, I was like, because I've heard, when you take that, a lot of people don't pass the first time. And so I guess the days before and the night before, I was like, God, you know how I am when it comes to grades, and you know how I am when it comes to passing things, and because I mean, I was in Phi Theta Kappa in college, I was in, the top in high school, things like that. And so grades are a big thing for me. And so I was like, you're just going to have to, will you please help me pass this first time? I don't want to do this again. It's taken so long as it is. And I passed with flying colors. I won't tell you my score, but it was a high score. It was higher than it was supposed to be. So I finally got that license a month later. And I'm now licensed in Texas and North Carolina. Um, and there's subsequent licenses that I'm going to get as far as more things I can do with the company. But that's my next goal, and those are hard. But God's with me, and it'll happen. So
So all this information is right now. It's just contained on your Facebook. You don't have
well,
a web page or
I don't really have a
separate
web
deal.
page. I have I'm still in training now.
You're just kind of
So I
putting the
haven't done a
info
lot,
out there a little
but
bit.
I
Yeah.
do have an alignable profile, if people, because our lifeblood in the company is referrals. And so um, if I can get as many referrals as I can, that helps my business grow. Um, and it's not just that, it's helping people. That's what I want to do. And so with this, I can, help a lot of people. But
And there's a lot of companies I know that kind of came up with a graphic for you and sent it to you and have your people look over it. It's something that has all the logos of the companies you're associated with, affiliated with. It has your name and email and phone number on it and stuff. So, but basically, if you want have any questions for Sarah, just go to her Facebook page, send her a message, and I've actually been messaging her on doing this interview, and she gets back to you pretty quick. So she's not going to be 3 or 4 days from now you hear back from her. She'll answer you promptly if you have any questions about any of the services she's offered or referrals. Whatever questions you got, she is willing to answer your questions and take care of your needs on this business venture she is starting. And she's a good, kind person. I've heard a lot of people, if you ask around, some good, may hear a few bad people. There's nobody that said anything bad about Sarah.
Oh,
She
yay.
is she's very genuine, kind hearted, great person. The feedback I've got, they said, man, you need to have her on your podcast. That is a great story, great person, great all around, genuine, want to shoot you straight. If you want to do some investments or insurance, she would definitely be the person to go to. She will not steer you astray.
And one thing I can say is the appointments are all on Zoom if you want to meet with me. And the appointments don't cost anything. Um, so,
Free appointments, free consultation, stuff like
yes.
that. She's not charging you like a lawyer, for
Right.
legal advice that's free that you're going to get a bill for. No, they don't do that. Well, I don't know. I hadn't had to use a lawyer very much in my lifetime, but just kind of lawyer joke there and stuff. Kind of take a shot at those guys. No, but do some work, but you doing some stuff that's kind of a growing business. A lot more people are getting into what you're getting into, but Sarah is actually going to be a good person to help you out and get your needs and help her out too by getting her started in her business and be a good person for all that stuff. So that information will be out there on her Facebook page. We're also going to put an article in the Borger News Herald. Now I don't know when that would come out. Probably Tuesday's paper, but I'm not 100% sure. Just be looking for that. We will definitely have it out there. I'm going to have this interview posted on the normal Facebook pages I've been posting and stuff. And so if you have any questions, just feel free to hit her up on Messenger, and the phone number will be listed. And, you know, just
Email's fine too.
email's fine too. I have that email address will be listed also. So, Sarah, I appreciate you taking the time to come down here. I know you had to arrange a ride to get here. Glad your ride was able, somebody was able to be free on a Friday morning to bring you down here for this interview. And, your story, just a perseverance and making it and going to, and being successful. It should be something that, be documented, actually be wrote about more than what we're doing here today with the interview and the newspaper article. But I wish you good luck and business success and success in life. And again, thank you for coming out and meeting with me. And thank you for the News Herald for letting me have a place to do the podcast instead of us having to meet at Starbucks or someplace. I mean, it's not bad. I'll just say we did. I've never been to Starbucks till I did an interview with somebody, and then I realized they play loud music inside the
Oh,
whole time.
goodness.
So we did the interview outside on that north porch with all the traffic behind us. And interesting enough, the traffic was not heard, and people thought we were actually in a studio
Oh,
doing it.
nice.
So it's pretty nice. But
Well, thank you for having me. It's
and
been fun.
any final thoughts, words that you want to say to the community, hellos to anybody, whatever you want.
Oh, gosh.
There are a lot there. I'm sorry to throw a lot out there at once. Just
Um,
whatever comes to mind that you want to think or
well,
anything.
it's
Maybe.
interesting that you said the word perseverance because that's the word God gave me for this year. So,
Okay. Yes.
um, anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. But I said, do you have a big support team? What you have said and everything. Thank you. I'll personally say thank you to those folks for looking out for somebody in the community because sometimes some people in life fall through the cracks and they don't have the support and have the system in place to help them out on everything. So just thankful for the Border community to step up all these years and keep an eye on you and help you out in any way you can. I want to thank those folks myself for helping Sarah make it through the tributes of life, is what we'd say. So, anything else, Sarah? I'll give you. It's your show.
Oh gosh.
If not, we'll go ahead and get out of here, and we'll work on our newspaper article and go from there. But I wish you good luck and
Thank you.
everything. If I need some financial services, you'll be my first phone call I make and stuff. Just let
Ninety
you know.
percent of people need what we do, so you do.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I do.
So,
I do. Yes, I definitely need some of the services. I'm a little bit older than you, not much older, but I'm not far from it's talking about. I'm looking at 65. I'm 12 years away from 65. That's just hard to believe. When
right.
we're younger,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
you're a
When
late
when
70s
when
kid.
you're young, the time just goes so slow,
Well,
and
when
when you
you're in
get
your 20s,
older,
that's
it's
like
like
35,
whoosh.
40 years away, and
Yeah.
you get in your 50s. I'm actually I was born in 72, and you said you're born in 77, so
78.
78.
Yeah.
So, we're the 70s kids that grew up with is it green furniture and the odd colored, uh,
The good music.
good music, odd colored kitchen appliances and stuff like that. And the thing I remember is like the TV dinners, the Swanson, and the brownie being like, you think, oh, I want that brownie. It's like you heat it in the oven, and it brownie for some reason absorbed all the heat from the meal, and it's like 1,200 degrees if you try to eat it, but the rest of the meal might be cold in spots. But there's some of the good memories growing up in the 70s. But Sarah, we'll go ahead and get out of here. We'll work on your newspaper article. I thank you again for coming out.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Again, contact Sarah Harris on Facebook for any of this information and get out and everything else. So, for Sarah and myself, we are out of here.